something out there waiting for us. And it ain't no man.
I was excited about telling a Predator story in a different time. And it is this creature's first time to this planet. And there's great rootability watching someone who's made their own weapon and seeing how are they going to use those things to take down something with alloy and laser advantages.
Action!
This is the David and Goliath story.
Cut!
The very first Predator set the bar for all future franchise films. So it gives us some of that backstory and also the indigenous survival.
This version of the Predator is very raw and powerful. It really fits inside of our world.
It knows how to hunt. I know how to survive.
Prey is set in the 1700s, 300 years before the first movie. And it is this creature's first time on Earth trying to find the most worthy opponent.
The Predator's hunting is just for sport. He's here to compete in a game, and he's here to win.
We have him. No, he has us.
This Predator, he's very primal. He's going back to basics.
He's coming for us.
He's pretty fierce.
He's always looking for a fight. But when he looks for his prey, he always goes after the alpha.
He hunts with earlier versions of weapons we had seen before, like the net device. And there's the weapons that we haven't seen, the shield that unfurls, and then the cut clamp. This is going to be a fight to the end, to seeing who is the Predator here, who is the prey.
There is no shortage of reasons that having a character like Naru be the action hero in a movie like this is an incredible feat and move. I think having an indigenous female action hero is historic, and I think it's an incredible thing that Dan and 20th Century did to have such a vote of confidence toward indigenous people and indigenous storytelling, to get behind having a figure like that people can hopefully look at and feel connected to or inspired by, and you know, also hopefully that is represented in a way that is, I think, grounded and human and relatable and also very cool. I first auditioned for this film and for the role of Naru in February of 2020 was the first time that I ever met Dan. And then this film disappeared for a while and came back, and I never had any idea that it was a Predator film. I only knew that it was a movie about a young Comanche woman who wanted to be a hunter, and I thought that she was very interesting. I really connected with her for some reason, and I thought that the movie, you know, what little I knew about it, the concept was unique, and I'm a huge fan of Dan. I think I think the world of him and his ability as a filmmaker, and also a person. So all of those things were already enough for me. And then later I found out that it was a part of the Predator world.
This being my first acting role, it kind of came about in a strange way. I had auditioned for kind of this open audition thing that I saw on Instagram a couple years ago, and that ended up getting canceled because of COVID. And honestly, I'm not sure how big of a part I was even meant to play in that. So I just kind of kept doing my thing. I was working a regular job and playing music at night and on the weekends, trying to do that. And then I got an email from this casting agent, this major casting agent, and she said, I want you to audition for the small part in this movie. And I said, oh, okay. And so I did, and I sent in a self-tape. And then I did a Zoom audition with Dan and Jane. And then I think I did another one. And then they flew me out to LA for this screen test with Amber and a couple other people that they were looking at. And it was at that point I started to realize this doesn't seem like a small part. I don't think they would fly me out if I, was playing some small role. Then Dan FaceTimes me a few weeks later, and what do you know it? I got the part in a Predator movie.
Naru is determined. She is stubborn. She's focused. She's the kind of person that the more you tell her no, the more she wants to prove yes. And she is instinctive, she has this idea of where she should be, or this feeling of being drawn to something, even though people are constantly telling her to do something else or go somewhere else. She has a feeling about where she really belongs and what she really should be doing. And I think the way that she follows her intuition and the way that she follows her instincts are unique and interesting and carry her through quite the journey.
Taabe is a character that I really felt a camaraderie with, because he's this strong, tough warrior, but he has this kindness and this kind of goodness that radiates out of him, and that's something that I strive to try and have in my own life if I can. So being able to play this guy as my first character was kind of an honor for me, because that's something I want to bring to the world. Young boys out there, so many, they want to be strong, they want to be tough, but that doesn't mean that they have to get rid of their kindness and their goodness. So that was an honor for me.
I am Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota, so those are all Plains tribes. So I do come from Plains people, and the Comanche people are also Plains people, though they are obviously a completely different, tribe than me and than I grew up in. But the cultures Comanche culture and my culture do share some similarities. So the process of learning about that was really special to me and unique to be able to show up to work, and I was supposed to be learning about the Comanche people and the Comanche nation and Comanche history. And so that to me was really fun, and I really felt privileged by that. And it was amazing to learn about different things that we share, different places where we differ. And of course, if somebody were representing my people, I would take that seriously. And so representing Comanche people, I definitely took that seriously.
My background, kind of growing up in the Southwest, certainly kind of gave me a good foundation to kind of build Taabe upon. I kind of grew up with a mix of cultures, but it gave me a wide outlook, kind of a lot of things to take and put into this guy. He's not just one thing. He is emotionally diverse, and you get to see multiple different sides of Taabe throughout the movie, which was fun for me. You get to see him at his best. You get to see him under stress. You get to see him emotionally conflicted talking to his sister. It was pretty special for me.
A huge thing that made this film unique was how collaborative Dan is and how kind and grounded and open. I think he really put a huge effort into making an environment where everybody felt cared for and everybody felt comfortable and supported. And from the beginning, he was so open to, especially with culture stuff, but with anything, like hearing everybody and wanting to know, like, if you have any ideas of little culture things that can be incorporated, or this stuff or this thing, like just so open and so willing to learn and hear people. So I'm so grateful for that experience.
One thing that I love about Dan is he's so easygoing. you know, if anybody had any ideas, he was never too scary to approach. You know, in my last scenes, I wasn't supposed to originally have anything on my face, just the bruises and the cuts that I would have anyway. But you know, I was looking at the blood on myself and the blood all around me, and I was just thinking to Dan, to myself, I want to put something on top of it to kind of get his groove back, you know, because he's just gone through this horrible experience. He's got to come back with some swag. So I went to Dan and I said, hey, can I take some blood and do something to kind of give Taabe a little bit of fierceness for this last bit? And he was all for it. So I give him all the credit. Thank you for listening to me, bud.
There was not a day of this film that did not present challenges. So it's hard to say. It's hard to pick any one thing in particular that was most challenging about playing this role or making this movie. But I mean, the concept of the idea of not wanting to let anybody down, you know, this obviously takes place 1719 in the Comanche Nation, and I'm not Comanche. I am Lakota, Nakota, and Dakota. So I also come from Plains people, but you know, Comanches were incredible warriors and they were incredible hunters. So it was important to me to represent their people well and to do right by the Comanche people, on top of obviously just wanting to be skilled, and even working with somebody like Dan, you know, wanted to like never, you know, come in always prepared or always ready to do my best, or you know, face whatever physical challenge there was going to be. I mean, there's truly no shortage of things that made this movie unique.
This being my first acting role, there was a lot of moments where I just kind of had to step back and go, wow, this is quite the production. You know, you don't realize how many people go into making a movie until you're sitting in the middle of it and you're watching so many people going by doing their jobs, and it just gives you an ultimate appreciation. And it's humbling for me, because I know that my part is only so much. You've got, you know, Grips setting things up just right for you. You've got, you know, the post-production guys, you know, who hold a lot of power in their hands to make you look really good or really bad. So you really appreciate those guys who don't really get seen in the movie. I know without those guys, we couldn't have done it. So I appreciate them.
Why do you want to hunt? Because you all think that I can't. I saw a sign in the sky. I'm ready. Maui Nita. There's something out there. I'm coming with you.
You can't.
I'm trying to protect you.
Protect me from what? It's time.
It knows how to hunt. I know how to survive.